From his first job flipping burgers at McDonald's and delivering the Washington Post, Craig Willett counts only 1.5 years of his adult life working for someone else. Welcome to the Biz Sherpa podcast with your host, Craig Willett, founder of several multi-million-dollar businesses and trusted advisor to other business owners. He's giving back to help business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs achieve fulfillment, enhance their lives, and create enduring wealth. The Biz Sherpa.
This is Craig Willett, the Biz Sherpa. I'm grateful that you joined me today in my Sherpa's den instead of the cave. I'm kind of sitting by the fire today, hoping to really talk about something that's important, that you can take a minute to slow down. This is not a long podcast, but I'm hopeful that it's a meaningful one. I want to walk through a few steps of something that I learned in life, and that is, how do you identify among all the opportunities out there for you, which one is right for you? You may say, Craig, but it's easy for you. You've had success come to you. Well, success doesn't come easy. You have to work for it. You have to work hard. And you don't know which corner it lies around. I didn't. I was surprised several times. In fact, I almost let one opportunity slip me by. I was busy writing a book. After I shut down my real estate development business and wound it down, it took several years, and I started writing a book to inspire business owners. And you know, I was so busy trying to get it finished that I was working for several months helping a friend who wanted to start up a new business. And it got to the point where he was looking for, everything was finished up, and he was looking for the investment money. And I almost didn't respond to the email at the end and missed the opportunity to be the major investor in that business. It eventually went public, and I'm glad I did. But let's talk about, how do you know what's right for you? And how did I know that was right for me? You know, you have to gain confidence to do that. I remember as a little kid wanting to get in the swimming pool, but I was a little bit afraid. Is it going to be too cold? Will I be able to keep my head above water? And I'd been in the little kids pool, but I hadn't been in the big kids pool. And I was standing there kind of bugging my dad, hey, Dad, can you show me how to swim in the big kids pool? And he turned around, not frustrated, but in a very kind way, tossed me in the pool. And I went down probably to the bottom of the 5 feet section, and I was probably barely 3 feet tall at the time, right? And I came up and I was bobbing my head. And you know what? It gave me an important lesson in life. What I learned from that is that you can keep your head above water, you can be comfortable, and once you gain that confidence, then it doesn't matter what the temperature of the water is. You know you can jump into the pool and swim. And so I'd like to say that, how do you know what opportunity is right for you? It's when your confidence in your abilities is strong enough that it overpowers your fears of failure. And I think that's an important intersection. And how do you get to that intersection? Let me talk you through 3 steps or 4 steps that will help you get there. The first is you have to assess your strengths. You have to know who you are and what you're made of. So let's talk about how you can discover your talents. You know, you need to be familiar with who you are. And so I recommend sitting down, take some quiet time in a quiet place, in a very relaxing and undisturbed environment, and make a list of what you think your strengths are. Then ask those who are close to you, who know you well, what they think your strengths are, and write them down. Don't try to qualify them. Don't try to be an exhaustive list, but try to look at them and be honest with yourself, and also have those that are close to you and love you share with you, and just keep that list. Set it aside, okay? Now that you have that list, look at who you really are. Second thing, what did you dream about when you were a child? What did you dream about as a teenager? What were your aspirations? Making money shouldn't be one of those aspirations. It should be more than making money. It needs to be about who you really are and how you really want to make a difference in this life. You know, one of the things that I think can help you to make a difference in life is look at what values you have and how you can share those values. This is my dog, Louie. He came to join us today. How you doing, Louie? Anyway, the values that you have are wonderful opportunities for you to be able to look at how you can change someone else's life. So look at what motivates you. You look at your dreams. So you look at your strengths, then you look at your dreams to figure out what motivates you. What are you passionate about? What do you want to see the most? You know, the reason I do the Biz Sherpa podcast is because I want to give back. I want to inspire people to step on the path to business ownership and to experience the success that comes from being a small business owner and be able to enhance that success by the tools and resources that I have on my website. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to play football. That was one of my dreams. I wanted to be like my dad. And so if I were to list on my motivations at one point in time, I would have put play football and be like my dad. My dad was also in real estate, not a real estate developer. But anyway, I played football. Not as a teenager. My mom wouldn't let me because my dad played 4 years of high school and was all state all 4 years and played college football. But he had some severe injuries that made him drop out. Some concussions and some major bone fractures. And so she didn't want us to play as younger children, but I tried out and made the high school team. I played the first year on the junior varsity. The second year, I was practicing at the beginning of the season to make the varsity team and to play. They handed the ball off to me in a scrimmage, and as I ran through the line of scrimmage, I got bumped around, and then I jumped through thinking I was in open field, and I stood up to run. And it was a hot day, so I didn't wear my rib pad, so I had no protection here. And as I was running down the field, I looked up and I was right, instead of in open field, I was right by the linebackers. And one of them, I still remember Joe, he put his face mask in my chest, right here on the side, and I heard a crunch, and I fell to the ground and I passed out. When I came to, my dad was there and I was on my way to the hospital. I broke my rib and it punctured my lung. After that, I quit. I didn't go back to play on the football team. Now, you might say, well, Craig, you're a quitter. Well, you know what? I realized then that my talents and my abilities were not greater than my fears in that area. I became successful in other things later in life, but you have to sit down and look at what really motivates you. What are your real dreams and what are your real passions? How do you really want to make a difference in life to change and make other people's lives better? Because it's in that process that you come up with products or services that make that difference. And then you sit down with the two lists. Here's what my strengths are. Here's what my motivations are based on my dreams and desires and passions. And then look for commonalities. It's at that point that you try to align your talents, which are your strengths, with your motivations. And that will give you the core reason to start a business. For me, I had been in the CPA business for a long time, for a number of years, maybe not a long time, seemed like it to me, a lot of long tax seasons. But anyway, at that point, there was a point in time during my career that I sat there and I wondered, you know, how am I going to do something that's more meaningful? And an opportunity came along. I talked about it, and I talked about it in my brief 8-minute episode on opportunity knocking. But when that opportunity comes, you need to be able to look at talents and your motivations and how that aligns. For me, it was really clear. I started a real estate development business to develop office buildings for small businesses. I had over 700 small business clients by that point in time in my life, and I understood what made them tick. I knew they were treated sometimes as a second-class citizen. I knew often that they couldn't find office space where they could put their name on the outside of the building and that people could drive right up to the front door and walk in. And it became my passion to be able to provide that for them. When you think about it, doctors, dentists, CPAs, attorneys, insurance agents, they spend a lot of time getting professional licenses, a lot of school, extra school. And you know, they need the opportunity to be able to have the prestige of having their name on the building. So I developed 4,000 and 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square foot office buildings that they could own for less than rent. It ended up about 30% less than the prevailing market rent. They had to put 10% down and get an SBA loan. But you know what? At the end of the day, they saved money. And not only that, the passion behind my motivation was they were able to do it to own for less than rent. And guess what they had? They had a building with their name on it rather than a pile of canceled rent checks. And you know, for me, that's one of the greatest things that could have ever happened for my clients. And I get a lot of thank yous that they are able to retire with a building paid for worth over $1 million, and they were able to do it for less than the cost of rent throughout their career. So when you're able to look at taking my finance passion, my passion for small business, and aligning the second class nature that sometimes is afforded to small business and put them at the top, it brought a great deal of satisfaction. And I knew when that opportunity came that it was for me, and I had the talents and the abilities. I didn't have all the skills, and nor will you have all the skills to do everything. So I say, look at, again, sit down and write your strengths. Those are your talents. Look at your motivations, your dreams, and your passions. Try to see where those align. And then when opportunities come, you'll know that they're there for you. And then what's really key is that you have to observe that preparation so that when that opportunity knocks, you're able to take advantage of it, that you're able to walk right through confidently and have your preparation, your skills, and your talents and confidence be great enough to overcome the fear of failure to start a business. Yes, there's a lot of businesses that do fail. There's more that succeed than fail, certainly, but those things you need to plan for. You need to plan for success. And I say that I'm excited to hear from you. I hope you'd go to my website at bizsherpa.co or our LinkedIn page or our Facebook page, bizsherpa.co, and share with me your passion and your strength and how they came together for you to be able to create a business opportunity that was successful for you, or that you hope to be successful for you. I don't mind that you share with me your future aspirations. It would make me really happy. This is Craig Willett, the Biz Sherpa. I'm grateful that you joined me for this fireside chat today.
Be sure to go to our website to access the resources related to this episode at www.bizsherpa.co. If you enjoyed this show, tell your friends about us and be sure to rate our podcast. Craig would like to hear from you, so share your thoughts in the Facebook community at bizsherpa.co. Follow us on Twitter at bizsherpa_co and on Instagram at bizsherpa.co.